your corner. You're a disgrace. You're smashing an egg in someone's face, and then you're trying to justify it. There's no justification for that. There's nothing noble about that.
The public, and that's something that you say behind closed doors. I'm not sure it's something to discuss in the media.
Is he likely? It doesn't sound like it. Is he likely to change his mind? Does Chris Eubank Jr., your fighter, want him in his corner?
He wants to win the fight. That's all he's focused on. He's now in a point of time where he has to block all the noise out.
The tension surrounding the upcoming showdown between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn has reached a boiling point, and now it's spilling over into personal territory, with Chris Eubank Sr. at the center of a bitter family fallout. Promoter Ben Shalom didn't hold back when he publicly slammed Eubank Sr. for turning against his own son, calling the move nothing short of a disgrace. According to Shalom, this public betrayal.
Life. Junior, you're smashing an egg against this guy's face. I taught you that. I didn't teach you that. Who taught you that? Did Karen teach you that? Who taught you that? That's disgraceful. I'm gonna stand in your corner. You must be mad. You must be mad.
Betrayal isn't just shocking, it's damaging. At a time when unity should be paramount, Sear's behavior has become a massive distraction, dragging the spotlight away from the fight and onto a fractured father-son relationship. Shalom even hinted that this may be the final straw, suggesting that Eubank Jr. could permanently cut ties with his father after this emotional blow. Eubank Sr.'s raw frustration boiled over during recent interviews, where he openly tore into his son for what he described as disrespectful theatrics in the build-up to the fight, especially mocking the now infamous egg-smashing stunt. To Senior, these antics represent a betrayal of the values he once instilled in his son, and he's
to the biggest fight of the year next week. It's the biggest fight possibly of his career in terms of what's to come beyond it. He's not thinking about who's going to be in his corner. He's got his trainer, he's got Jonathan Banks. They've had an amazing camp, and he's going to put on a demolition performance next week.
Strongly questioned who is now influencing Junior behind the scenes. In a particularly brutal moment, Eubank Sr. sarcastically dismissed the idea of supporting his son ringside, making it painfully clear he wants nothing to do with what he considers a circus. His emotional outburst revealed a deeper truth. The father-son dynamic has begun to unravel, and it's doing so in front of the world. Meanwhile, Ben Shalom doubled down, not just criticizing Eubank Sr., but taking aim at both camps. He emphasized that all the noise and controversy,
much of an issue, but again, listen, I'm not disrespecting Chris Eubank Sr. Let's into the game, and he's going to worry about his son. Do you know what I mean? And rightly so, but I don't think he's in that. But put it this way, I think if he was in that much of a disadvantage, everyone would be picking Eubank, wouldn't he? And I've seen people quite split on it. A lot of people are picking Ben. So
controversy outside the ring is irrelevant once the first bell rings. Shalom praised Eubank Jr.'s camp under Jonathan Banks, saying it has been intensely focused and laser-locked on destruction. The real story, according to Shalom, isn't about drama. It's about how viciously Eubank Jr. will dismantle Conor Benn when the time comes. Boxing analyst Stephen Smith echoed those sentiments, mocking Eubank Sr.'s public behavior and calling it a major distraction. Smith believes that all eyes should be on Eubank Jr.'s performance, not his father's headlines.
I have never in my entire life witnessed anyone work so hard as Conor Benn in training camp. And if Conor Benn loses, and I don't believe he will, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I've done absolutely everything I can to win this fight. And he will win this fight. And he will knock Chris Eubank out inside 4 rounds. That is my prediction.
Under Jonathan Banks' guidance, Smith says the training camp has been about one thing: ruthless execution in the ring. On the flip side, Eddie Hearn is unwavering in his belief in Conor Benn. He's praised Benn's discipline, his hunger, and his unrelenting drive. For Hearn, this fight is more than just a matchup, it's a testament to Benn's pursuit of greatness. Hearn is so confident in Benn's ability that he boldly predicts a knockout victory within 4 rounds, dismissing any chance of Eubank Jr. surviving the onslaught. Even if Ben were to fall short, Hearn insists he'll leave everything in the ring, but make no mistake, his prediction remains firm.
From that, his son, should probably not be dropping at this stage to go down to 160. It was meant to be 157 for the original. It's probably why the weight is such a big thing for him on that. But he's also making a bigger point of Conor Benn shouldn't be coming up 2 weights to fight my son. Like he's making a clear point that no one should really be letting this happen, and without offending and upsetting everyone, and I'm working the show and I'm really looking forward to it, he's probably not far wrong.
Ben will destroy Eubank, and he'll do it fast. The controversy surrounding the highly anticipated clash between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn continues to intensify, with several high-profile figures in boxing weighing in on the madness. One of the most vocal has been Sonny Edwards, who didn't pull any punches when addressing the ongoing drama, particularly Chris Eubank Sr.'s explosive comments about his son's weight cut. Edwards made it clear he believes Eubank Jr. should not be cutting down to 160 pounds at this stage in his career, especially when the original plan called for a 157-pound catchweight. He emphasized the potential risks involved, suggesting that such drastic cuts could be dangerous.
Yeah, I think it's a mismatch on paper. Of course it is. It's a fella that won a British title at welterweight, who hasn't boxed for a long time, against a faded world-class middleweight. So I haven't really got any interest, to be honest.
Egg slap not get you excited for it?
Not really, no. I'm not really an excitable guy.
And counterproductive. But Edwards wasn't just focused on Eubank Jr. He also took aim at Conor Benn, who is moving up 2 weight classes to take this fight. In Edwards' view, that decision is equally questionable. While careful not to step on too many toes, he called it a reckless move that adds more risk than reward. Ultimately, while Edwards is still looking forward to the showdown, he was quick to point out that both sides have made flawed choices, and the fight's build-up is riddled with concerns. Meanwhile, Dave Allen has been even more blunt in his criticism. Allen ripped apart the Eubank versus Benn rematch, labeling it an embarrassment to boxing. In his words, the fight is nothing more than a cheap spectacle, designed to cash in on family names and nostalgic hype. He slammed it as a circus act, highlighting the mismatch.
Just the walk, let alone the fight part, takes a lot of mental strength. It takes a lot of guts, a lot of heart. Mental strength, it's a huge thing in boxing.
It's a big thing in life, even outside of boxing, right? In business and in all, I think, great endeavors. Do you think it's something that you can, from what you've seen in the gym, something you can teach or train?
I think you can.
Match between a fading middleweight and a welterweight who hasn't proven himself domestically. For Allen, this isn't a meaningful boxing contest. It's a sideshow with zero sporting value, and fans are being fed a watered-down version of what should have been a legitimate rivalry. Frank Warren also joined the chorus of criticism, taking a personal jab at Eubank Jr. by calling him a prick and slamming his public persona. Warren didn't sugarcoat his opinion, making it clear that he has no respect for the way Eubank Jr. carries himself, calling him cocky, brash, and arrogant. This isn't just about boxing for Warren. It's a clash of egos, and his outburst only fueled the already heated atmosphere. What started as a professional rivalry between Eubank Jr. and Benn has now evolved into a personal war. Pride, legacy, and reputation are all on the line, and when the bell rings, only one man will walk away with the ultimate.
Fired on. Conor's his dad's son, and his dad's exactly the same. And the Eubanks and the Benns, they know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and so there'll always be that family rivalry going on. And Chris's aloof personality, riles Conor, like his dad did, with their dads did. So he knows exactly what he's got to do.
Bragging rights. Johnny Nelson doesn't hold back when it comes to Conor Benn, delivering a scathing critique of the young fighter's recent behavior. According to Nelson, Benn has crossed a dangerous line with his reckless comments and erratic conduct, dragging more attention to controversy than to his actual boxing ability. For Nelson, the constant drama surrounding Ben is not only damaging his image, but also overshadowing his true potential. Instead of dedicating himself to the sport, Ben seems more interested in stirring the pot, and it's slowly chipping away at his credibility in the boxing world. In stark contrast, Nelson had nothing but praise for Chris Eubank Jr., commending his laser focus, discipline, and dedication to his craft. Eubank Jr. isn't getting caught up in the noise. He's all about staying sharp, grinding in the gym, and letting his work speak for itself. The difference between the two fighters couldn't be more clear. While Ben is entangled in controversy, Eubank Jr. is locked in on building his legacy. Nelson's verdict is simple. Eubank Jr. is on a mission, and Ben needs to decide whether he's serious about the sport or the spotlight. The big question remains: can Ben cut through the chaos when it matters most?